Hey everybody, Jochen Heiden here. I've been busy with work the last few days, so haven't had a chance to review what's about to be the 19 January 1942, turn 44 combat replay and analysis. I've been told on my Discord that I got jacked up or that Lodrik pulled off some crazy sneak attack, so I've been kind of dreading this for the last couple of days. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can watch it with me and we'll see what he did. But man, I'm not looking forward to this at all. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happened here. Okay, she's taking Morotai. All right, he's landing at Sinkep. All right, so the plunger gets picked up by a subchaser south east of truck. Wow, that's a large task force. That's a lot of APs. That's moving troops and they're going somewhere. Interesting. I wonder where they're going. Since they're south of truck, I can only assume they're heading south. Okay. Oh, this is one of our yard patrol ships, and that it looks to be kind of along the map edge. Okay, so he's got subs now riding the map's edge. Interesting. He misses the yard patrol ship. Okay, Pompano takes a shot at an ACM to the northeast of Kavieng. And again, a lot of ACMs. I wonder why he has so many ACMs grouped together. This was an ASW attack. He's relocating these somewhere, but why so many? He must be planning a lot of mines, because each ACM can do 150 mines. So what are you looking at, like 750 mines worth of tending here? Okay, O-23 in the Strait of Malacca gets picked up by a subchaser. And we survive it, but it's just a reminder that we can't be hanging out in this shallow water here. These subchasers are very deadly. They carry a lot of ASW weapons. Okay, so there's no night airstrikes. Okay, no. Okay, he's landing at Hollandia, which is in New Guinea now. He's looking to pick up a lot of bases this turn. Okay, another ASW attack near, kind of in between Georgetown and Sabang in the Strait of Malacca. A couple of destroyers. The K7 takes a shot at Monado, but we miss. Bummer. Wait, what? Carrier aircraft at Brisbane? What? Not again. No way. No. There's no way he got in there. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Alright, sweep of Henyang. Okay, he's a little attack at Pinsiang here. Nothing major. Big raid at Henyang. Okay, this is a massive raid. Look at the size of this. And he does critical damage to our troops there. Now he's trying to soften up this unit that got displaced here the last turn. I just haven't run it in a direction because it's basically dead. A lot of casualties there. Strike on Temelo, and it looks like he's going for the airfield to try to stop us from building up fortifications there. This strike is not very important. And he's just continuing to hit Henyang. That's going to really make it hard for us to counterattack there. Sinkwang troops that were displaced, they won't last long. And then these are the troops retreating across this river here. Kind of a lot of casualties there too. Man, I want to find out what's going on in Australia. That's what I'm trying to get to that here. Because this stuff is just more of a nuisance. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of this raid. This is a huge raid. Oh, this is so bad. I don't know how he got here. I have no good explanation for you guys how he could possibly get to this location. He would have had to have driven through so much naval search. I don't even get how he could do it. Let's see if we can get some data as to who's hitting us here. I'm curious what carriers this says. You know what? I can't watch this. This is just painful. Hear you. Shokaku, hear you. Oh man, this looks to be about 2 aircraft carriers worth of planes too. So that would make sense to hear you in the Shokaku at least. How he got to this point, I cannot explain. Yeah, you guys may have missed it, but there was a ton of APs in that task force, and we just lost them. Okay, and these guys are getting blasted now. Okay. So we lose this ship here. Yeah, he's just blasting Brisbane. This is so bad. I mean, you guys are getting used to me saying this. It doesn't even mean anything anymore, but I just don't have a good explanation for how he could get to where he's at and do what he's doing to me. It's undefendable if I can't see him coming. And there is nowhere on this map that he could get to there in one turn. So he had to drive through 2 to 3 days of naval search to get to where he's at right now. So all of my naval search that's overlapping is completely useless, is basically what I'm getting out of this. Okay, so this ship is done. Jeez. Look at the amount of zeros that he's sending on these things, too. How do I even defend against that? Man, a whole task force wiped out here. It's so bad. This is so awful. And that was just the, was that just the AM phase? I think it was both. Yeah, okay, so we're in land attack now. Wow. Alright, so he's going to take Sinkep here. But no, we have nothing there. Well, that's the end of that. Man. I can see why people were taunting me in my Discord. I look like a complete idiot right now, and it's embarrassing to me that Lodrik can come in here repeatedly, 3 different times now to Australia, and utterly destroy us. And I have nothing I can do about it. It just sucks. I hate that. And I don't have a good explanation how he could do it. We're going to have to really look at the analysis here and try to determine how he could have possibly done this. Oh, let's look at the analysis here. Jeez. All right, cue that sad music, because we got some sadness going on here. Look, it's Lodrik off the coast of Australia again for the 3rd time, and he comes all the way across the Coral Sea without us seeing him. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the numbers. All right, aircraft losses this turn. Wow, we actually bested him today, and I don't think it's anything to be necessarily proud of. For today, we lost two P-40 Warhawks, and that's just ops losses. He loses a smattering of different aircraft. The Mavis, which this is, I think, a transport variant. A couple of his carrier aircraft, presumably near Brisbane, and some other stuff. Nothing particularly noteworthy. Top pilots, 1 wounded in action. Speaking of which, I haven't done this lately. We can see if we can recover him and get him back in the group. So if we go to status wounded, and anybody that doesn't have a due date, we can click and transfer to the reserve. Soviet. Interesting. Alright, so that's basically it. If they have a due date, that means they're coming back. So, and then if you go look at reserve, you sort by wounded in action. Anybody that's already in the reserve and does not have a due date is most likely done for the campaign. And then you can start thinking about retiring them. Someone like, I don't know, like this guy right here, Vogel. Retired pilot. You can just clear out your roster, because if you can't come back, then what's the point? Anyway, I digress. I've gone off topic. Army lost points. Not a significant increase last turn. We did lose some troops in China, but nothing substantial. He, of course, lost basically nothing. Now, let's get back to my favorite metric to measure, the Allied ship sunk. Last turn, we had just a terrible round. I don't know how else to say it than that. We lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 troop-carrying type aircraft, 3 good freighters, and 3 escort ships. And, you know, quite honestly, I just don't have a good explanation to how that happened or how he got to where he's at. And these losses are completely unacceptable and unsustainable for me, because I don't have enough APs to be losing like this to these stupid sneak attacks that he keeps getting on us. I don't know how to answer them because I can't see them coming. Yeah, so obviously our Allied ship sunk number is just continuing to skyrocket out of control. I thought we had stabilized it for a while, but we really haven't. Because he gets to just come to Australia every couple weeks whenever he wants to harvest some ship kills and do it. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. Despite all the plans that I set in place to prevent this, they've gone out the window completely. So obviously, we'll start here in Australia. Lodrik found a way to drive through naval search here, here, and here, which actually looks more like this. Okay, these are all overlapping. So the only way for him to get where he was at would have been to have to come from this direction out here. Okay, but the max speed that this task force can move is going to be 18 hexes a day. That puts you to about, let's calculate. Tulagi, for example, is 24. So he would have to be somewhere in this radius here to get to where he's at in this turn, okay? Do you know how many layers of naval search that he would have had to have blown through to do that? It's not, it's inconceivable to me. I don't have a good answer, because we are spotting other stuff coming in other places, no problem. We got these guys. We've seen ships coming in over here. We're seeing ships coming in, but we did not see this huge, huge task force with 6 heavy cruisers, destroyers, 2 carriers, driving on through here. Maybe, heck, I think there's actually 3 carriers here instead of 2, now that I'm looking at it. He just drove right down here, and this was a multi-day thing, okay? He didn't do this in 2 turns. He did this over 2 to 3 turns, because he burned so much fuel to get to here, right? His DDs couldn't full speed for this many days. It's not possible. So he was going normal speed until about here, and then he shot in here. And that's all I can think of. But I don't understand how the naval search isn't catching it. And until they do, we will never be able to properly defend from this, because I don't have enough planes, bombers, and fighters to cover the entire coast of Australia. I just don't have them. I have to be strong in one spot and weak elsewhere. So we're weak basically down here, because the units I do have down here are still forming up. So they were not prepared to deal with this threat this turn. And quite honestly, they're not going to be ready next turn either. So Lodrik's going to just start going on a rampage through here, and I don't know how to stop him. And it's really upsetting to me to lose 15 ships in a turn, when all of the things that I had set in place to prevent it did not work. So that just means that I have to just submit to Lodrik coming in here and blowing up my ships whenever he feels like it, and there's no pushback that I can have. It's just frustrating. So I don't know how to explain this. If you guys are smarter than me, by all means explain how you get a task force that has a max move speed of 18 to here in one turn without being spotted over here, out here, down here. Never spotted once, but he gets here in 2 turns without being seen and gets to destroy everything that I have. It just sucks. All right, let's pick it up in China. Status quo here, which I'm fine with. He didn't attack anywhere. He didn't try to make any crazy moves. He did bomb the crap out of us at Henyang, and it's just nothing I can really do to stop that for now. I do need to dislodge those paratroopers out of there at some point, but until I get a lot more troops in there, it's going to be very difficult. So him owning this rail line is really going to constrict things and keep Changsha isolated. I don't know. I got to pull troops back, but I need them all. I need them all where they're at right now to do what they're doing. So it could be some time before we can get this unit out of here, or these 3 units. And it does appear that he's reinforcing them and maybe bringing in more, topping them off. Things are okay in India, at least somewhere I'm not getting my butt kicked. We did get that task force that got caught up in the mines here last turn into Rangoon, albeit missing 5 ships, so it's not like we had much on there. Fortunately, there were a bunch of AKLs, right? So if I'm going to lose ships, I'd rather lose those because they're not that valuable. But yeah, we need to get these mines cleared, and then we'll put up a better defense to prevent that from happening again. I wasn't running AMCs down here to sweep for mines because I thought we'd see the subs coming in, but apparently not. He did take this base here last turn, so he's slowly and methodically picking up bases through here, and he's finally on Sumatra, and now he's moving up towards Medan with probably a force that's more than sufficient to take it. Sure wish we had some. What? Oh. Interesting. You guys seeing this? He got a task force in the Palembang, but of course our minefield does absolutely nothing to stop him. Because if you look here, we have 217 mines, and they do not prevent him from coming into this hex. So I don't know what this force is. My guess is it's probably a bombardment force then, right? Because why else would you bring something in here that bold? But we'll see next turn what this actually is. But this could be signaling the beginning of the end in Palembang. Quite unfortunate that our minefields are I've had so many terrible experiences with mines this campaign. Ours don't work and his always do, and it's frustrating. Playing as allies is so frustrating the first 6 months of the war because nothing you do seems to work. Everything he does always works. This game is so biased in the favor of the Japanese player, but I guess it has to be, or else why would the Japanese player even bother playing, right? If he wasn't any good from turn 1, then what's the point? Because you know by 1943 they're going to get jacked up. So it's just frustrating. I'll get over it. At least on this side of Australia, everything's good, okay? We got some more supplies into Perth this turn, and we got more coming in. But, boy, if he wants to come back, I won't see him coming, apparently, so I need to be careful. Because he's over here now, and I'm sure he's just going to linger off the coast for a few days and just start doing port strikes now because I will be redirecting all of my at-sea task forces away from here. So my guess is next he's going to start doing port strikes, probably at Brisbane, maybe even as far as Sydney. He may come to Noumea, but I think he won't like what happens if he does that because we do have some stuff there that can prevent that, or at least slow him down. But Brisbane's definitely a heavy target, and we do have a lot of ships in there that I can't afford to lose right now. So let's see what happens. My guess is he just hovers here and just port strikes. Put your bets in the comments. Oh man. And of course over here in Solomon Islands, it's looking pretty quiet. We got some activity at Rabaul, right? But it's nothing particularly noteworthy. He just skipped all this and went down to Brisbane. And my subs are not having a lot of success right now between the Mark 14 torpedoes and the amount of escorts that he has. Look at this. You guys seen this? We have some tankers here. And we have 8 ships, and several of these are heavy cruisers. So I am curious where he's planning to go with these. We need to keep an eye on that. Clark, just waiting us out. Just kind of hanging out here. Sure wish he'd attack us, but you know, every day he doesn't, we build up a little bit more. So we'll see how long this takes to come to fruition, but I wish he'd already finished it off. You know, 2 turns ago, this sub caught a patrol boat out this far. So what I'm starting to think is that he's got patrol boat picket ships out here. And it's probably as a tripwire in case we were to launch a carrier attack this way. So, oh dang it! I guess I'm gonna have to call my carriers off from that strike in Hokkaido, right? But I think we just happened to stumble across one of his patrol boats that were out here, and again, he's using these as tripwires for a potential strike on Japan from carriers. I think that's what that is. Well, I think I've analyzed enough of this. The next few turns are going to be miserable for us, again, as they always are when Lodrik just sits off the coast of Australia and rips us up. So pray for us, you know, keep your fingers crossed that maybe this is it and he's going to head back, but I seriously doubt it because that's not what he does. He's going to come over here and continue causing major damage. I just hope we can defend against it. So I hope you enjoyed the turn. I know I did. I'll catch you on the next one.